any way, shape or form. But you know what? Let's start this series off. It is a best of 3. If you're just joining us, it's match number 3. We will kick us off with Hitch. Already gets taken down there by Burton, but does get the trade straight afterwards.
Well, it's interesting that we start this one with the Commando. So even with things being different, it seems like competitive always comes back down in the road. And there's the Commando once more. Snakebite cleaning it up with the assault rifle. But still, in the early going, we're really just looking for some positioning. The first wave of playing in Halo is about getting yourself set up, trying to orchestrate that team hold, and then work through the kills appropriately. Already, we have ball control at the bottom of the batteries, and that nade will check and take him off point. It's a 9-0 lead, but it's a good start.
It certainly is. Doug hasn't even died yet. He's going 3-0. Wants to try and add a little bit more to the tally if he can. And he has done. He's now going 4-0. Burton now can see exactly what he's going to get up to. Just realised a couple of people are on Turbine. Just to get a bit of damage done. But this is the problem with the Commando. It's not like the BR where you can just literally not scope in and just try to do as much damage as you can. You have to take a few pop shots here and there. But it does have the sword. And I did talk about that earlier on. And he's just playing it very safe, very secure, trying to change the tempo and just trying to bait anyone jumping up to Attic. And as I say that though, the first swipe doesn't go through, but will he about to hit the second one? Just barely, but that was a really, really important trade there.
And thank you to the picture-in-picture for giving us a sneak peek over the ball control. Currently, it's Team Hitch who have the ball, and they're currently sitting top attic, so they're going to have to watch for the nade checks coming from the opposite side of the map. Really, if you can get a Commando up in top control, you can watch that BR hop, and you can start to hope that players run into your line of sight. But yeah, like you talked about, the Commando really, you have to feather it. You have to make sure you aim for the body first, then try to go for some of those headshots. And from the back, here's a sneaky play around as George will pick up the kill and the ball. Time again going to Team Hitch as they have a 25-0 lead.
And this is the perfect setup as well. And they've got at least 2 more frag grenades at the bottom of the stairwell, especially on pipes. So they only need one person holding that area, which is what they've exactly got knuckled down there. Just keeping eyes peeled to see if they do anyone push on forward. Just use those nades to delay as much time as possible just to collect that ball time, and they're doing exactly that. But the ball guy's also there just preparing to rotate as he sees fit, or if he needs to, depending on the circumstances, he puts himself in. But I think he's going to be okay for now here. Spaceman already 2 down in favour of Team Hitch. 3 down now. Burton's last one alive, and they need to think about exactly how they're going to counter-attack, because you need to push in some kind of fork or an fork kind of method in order to push from all angles, but also in pairs at the exact same time. So push them forward, again, just adding up to the slays.
And they're not going to get close as long as Optic Blake stays alive because he has the shock rifle. So you're going to be able to pin players in top control. If they spawn at bottom turbine and try to work their way back pipes, you can shock them as they run in and let Snakebite move in with the rifle to clean things up, right? The AR are so good at medium range and you can just strip shields so quickly. And they haven't been able to break this top attic hold. It's very difficult to do so, but you need the team numbers to be there. So far, we got 1 down. Can they get the second? The Flood won't come in as Hitch cleans up the kill. And from the back, it's just another solid hold. A perfect 100 could be on the board. Only 6 seconds needed. Finally, it looks like we have a contest.
Yeah, this setup is definitely one of the strongest to hold, and if you're not too sure how to counter-attack or break it, then you know, you're pretty much stuffed. You're going to be in a lot of trouble. There's a couple of players just going around onto Catwalk. Burton's is still alive, trying to get just barely any ball time. Only got a couple of seconds, but he was trying to get the objective back up into top yellow, but just not going to happen, sadly for him. But just trying to hold on to pipes if they can. Actually using the Commando instead, and if he wins it, yeah, I would have been gobsmacked if he won that engagement, considering his opponent had the AR and just going in willy-nilly just to trying to see if he can secure that last slay. But so far so good for Team Hitch, just trying to really put the power to the metal here, getting a lot more done, and that is going to be the first round in favor of Team Hitch.
You know, I'm really surprised that Team Hitch has had this kind of rough start today. The fact that they're 0-4, I mean, the TST are known for their ability to create content in crazy competitive games. They're incredibly competent when it comes to both FPSs, but Halo alike. And you pick up the likes of Snakebite, who, again, congratulations to Sentinels on their win last night in the HCS. But I thought this team would go the distance. Yeah, they haven't played together since 2018, but still, very, very surprised they're at 0-4. But they look like they've turned things around very quickly. And now they have a power hold currently in the bottom of Turbine, dipping and diving around as George just bamboozles and ninjas one, and they get ball right back.
Yeah, not gonna lie to you, mate. That's one way to kill your opponent's confidence or their momentum or anything they can get shape or form in this matchup. As already, Slay's going in favour only slightly to Team Hitch. As speaking of Slay, Snakebite's just been going absolutely crazy right now. He's going 4-0, he's got the Mangler. I did say we're going to see a lot of this weapon, considering its strengths and abilities here. Just trying to stay alive, almost gets another, but sadly he does not, but inflicts enough damage to keep him away.
I mean, it's a 2-hit beatdown. You hit one in the body and land the final blow on the chest, and you're good. You can take players out very quickly with the Mangler, and I know that it's been a hot topic in the community, but hey, it works. It's viable. Speaking of that, you have control once more, and now you can try to work through the back sword spawn. If you have to throw the ball off to reset, it's more than likely, and you try to get back to mid-map and set up for another push. Now, we have Grapple Hook in possession of Snakebite. He takes out one top control, has the Mangler, make it 2 for Snake on his push towards the ball, and they're just going to reset this quickly. I like the play. You don't want to give Snakebite that much room.
You certainly don't give him a triple, but it doesn't matter. He's already done enough damage so his teammate can finish him off, which he has done. Nicely done there. Just keep an eye on the attic spawns. We realise that one person is peeking out, but at the same time, his teammates now just making sure to try and seal the deal and keep himself covered. But again, Snakebite not in the best of positions here, trying to stay alive and going back now to Blake to see if he can at least pull back, which he has done. But in a lot of trouble once again, just trying to get the old setup they had previously up top gold, but we need to keep an eye on pipes at the same time.
We haven't seen a lot of a committed team push from the Team 2 time. We haven't seen a lot of solo hits or double hits together. It's very much been trying to isolate Snakebite, or when someone's on ball, we'll push for it. They haven't been able to maintain the hold for a long time, Lethal. So I'm a little bit worried about the late game strat here. If they start getting pressured and they have to give up ball, move back to mid-map and play off spawn, how do they approach that? Because it's very much been isolated gunfights, but so far Doug's been leading the way. One more towards bottom camo. They'll have to eat that nade, and they will live to see another day, but they get the lead back. They build upon it. More importantly, they have attic control that they can play around with. Just got to clean up this final kill, and they do so.
Yeah, it's like I mentioned before, you need a perfect fork strategy. You need to have a lot of patience and discipline. Don't push in, of course, until you get at least a couple of members weak to throw a few nades into there. But also don't give your position away too much. It's very difficult. It's easier said than done. And we're seeing a little bit more of that now. They're pushing together. Before they were kind of going in single file, just giving away a lot of deaths. But you can see the slaying power coming out from Team HITCH. It seems to be, from Team 2 times. A lot better than what we saw previously. A couple of players were riding that struggle bus on numerous occasions, but this time around it seems to be a much closer affair, and they're actually up by 12 seconds, so there's definitely room for them to try and come back in this matchup. But as I say that though, my goodness, Snakebite just going on an absolute tear with that Commando and the Mangler.
I mean, as someone who's been around the top of Halo competitive for almost a decade, someone who knows the game inside and out, from your perspective, when you've had a quality lead but you're still building upon it, you're trying to force that mid-map pressure and kind of really lock down, locate where the ball might be able to rotate towards top attic and kind of set up for the late game. What is your approach in those comms? Do you continue to focus on just trading kills, or is there a different approach for when the game starts to tick away?
It's more about patience and discipline, and then trying to exert yourself into some kind of a strategic aggression. It's very tough to say. Again, it's easier said than done, but for recharge it's a little bit more difficult because the ball spawns in the open. It's very difficult to try and grab that. You need to get at least at the bare minimum 2 or 3 down, but the main thing is, of course, to try and get your opponents to use up all their utility, so all their nades in case you do grab the ball and then try and nade you out, and vice versa. So it is quite tough to call. Again, like I said, it's very situational, but that's my cup of tea, really. That's my go-to. It's normally get at least 2 or 3 down, at least succeed getting it up to top gold. But I was going to say, on top of that, Plat and Sneak is also a very good setup, but I think they're just going by the basics here. They just want to try and seal the deal and just play it extremely safe by going by what they know, which is perfectly understandable.
We've been very keen on holding the ball in the back of the attic, and not many players have given 2 looks over to the Needler that spawns a bottom turbine. So whether it's about clearing out the point, if not just trying to contest for time, we haven't seen that get used quite yet. A couple of challenges, cheeky ones of that, which I believe the shock rifle is now in play, and that should indicate a chance to hold this for more time. Last thing you want to do is peek a little bit too long. Speaking of, well, you just met your demise, and that's thanks to a couple of nades. We'll win a gunfight from Burton, who takes down Snakebite, and ball control of bottom batteries will be a little bit more contested now. We juggle this one back out to the A side. This comes down to whether or not you have those team kills in rotation. This is good time and a good hold for the moment, but how long will it last?
Yeah, Burton +2, 50 seconds. He's doing absolute work and wonders for his team to really keep himself in this matchup. Still though, up by 12 seconds. As one of the opponents there just trying to get away onto batteries, but even then, Longhorn's been taken down. Flamesword just prioritising the AR for the majority of this, realising that he was struggling in the Commando, just decides to get the AR to at least give himself a little bit of a helping hand at a later stage, especially the longevity of this matchup. But still, like I said, the Slayers are much better from Team 2 time compared to what we saw previously, and it looks like they've worked out how to break this setup also.
Yeah, and they haven't been too worried about losing the lead. They're very keen on letting time be a factor, a variable they can play off of. And with that, you've seen the response. They're much more comfortable with taking their individual gunfights. And, well, when you're winning your ones lethal, I don't got to tell you what that means. It makes the map that much easier to open up.
It certainly does. For starters, Game Pass has PC games. We haven't said that in a while. I feel awful for chat, but at least, you know, we'll get a few more codes out there for you guys at home. Don't you worry about that. As looking at the scoreboard so far, Snakebite 17 and 7. 5 assists to add to his name also. Just doing absolute work. It's been ridiculous. But the problem is, though, a couple of the players on 2 have only just respawned. And now, once again, Snakebite just trying to back away, stay alive for as long as he can before he plays ball.
And here's the interesting thing. I think we still do have camo for Team Hitch, so worst case scenario, that's Blake who has it. It will get burned quickly. A couple extra challenges. Bottom pipes, heavily contested, but don't worry. We still have ball control here. There's a sword. Maybe we think about resetting. We've seen Ola do it before, but plenty of time. Under a minute left. Now you have to go for the reset. Just a 1-point game.
And I love this from Snakebite, just standing his ground here. But even though it was a great play, Flamesword smelt that from a mile away, and that was a really, really important kill from him. In the note, another player gets taken down on batteries. Still 2 down for Team 2 time, which does mean Team Hitch have the opportunity now to try and grab the ball again as they see fit. That's even if they get the chance. But the Dark, for 2 time, takes down Snakebite in the end to keep themselves in this matchup, just to stop them from progressing towards the ball and just eliminating elements of the aggression here. But once again, though, Team Hitch to still push on forward, using that AR to great effect and seeing if he can do a little bit more damage, getting a bit overzealous here, able to stay alive a little bit longer, but I'm surprised just valuing his life so well.
Yeah, you got to be careful here. The last thing you want to do is take a team fight when you're not ready. Now you need to grab control. You got 19 seconds. All you need is a couple extra ticks. And again, we could be going to an OT because this is the 3rd round. Sword now on ball. Camo's up in 20. And that Commando's dealing damage at range. Snakebite finds one. Blake finds the 2nd. And that's all you need to get back onto the point and contest. You have to cut down top attic. Snake can't find the shots. And that's going to be round number 3. Unless there's a miracle in the next couple of moments. Snakebite now on the point. But I don't think there's enough time. That ball is still alive. We might have an OT momentarily, but hold on. They have control. Hold on. The repulsor jump back up. They can absolutely do this. They can tie this game up. It's chaos inside attic, and they're able to shut down 1, 2. A ninja comes through, and they're going to close it out. 2-0 in the final moments. You couldn't ask for a better finish in attic.
Spaceman, we saw, 2 ninjas that try and sort its life out a little bit, especially with the chemistry. You were talking about it before in terms of the teamwork. But the main thing is, if your team's got not much chemistry or not much synergy, the best thing to do is go back to basics. You know, I always say to anyone quite new to Halo or is only just coming to the scene, if you're struggling in terms of the slaying power or not doing enough damage dealt, always run to the nearest person on spawn. So when you go on spawn, literally just run to the next person straight away, and then that way you've got a constant cycle of going into pairs. That's one of the main things to really have. But this is a very aggressive start already, and already you can see it's 2-1 in favor of Team Hitch after that little scuffle. Just again, using that Mangler to good use. Flamesword now just wait and see if anyone drops down the chimney. Not going to happen, as he's going to try and get away and try and get a little bit of tower control, but instead gets taken down.
And with the Commando and the AR being the only weapons we have, I mean, you're seeing a much more standard approach to live fire, right? Go for the Mangler. Ooh, nice shots. Can't get the beat down. That sniper will get reset. But also, we're going to be playing for Bulldog control, playing for Heat Wave. There's a lot that comes back into the fray, which again, we will keep our eyes on. So far, it's a 1v2. Can you win it all? No, but you get one to take down with you. And that's a good trade. Now we move back over to a different POV. It's Flamesword working through the bottom of tunnels. He's got pillars looked, but no one else is around. Just has to play his life from the back. Maybe he has teammate support. If not, well, thinking twice about the engagement, he will back up.
Yeah, that's perfectly understandable. Just hiding bottom mid, just waiting to see if he can get himself any information on where his opponents are. But literally, they're standing the ground, just sound whoring right now, just trying to keep him at bay. But does get one, it's going to put a bit more damage onto the 2nd. Still on that dummy ramp, but again, you can see Snakebite just making sure no one else is pushing through. He does have the heat wave where it's going to cause a lot of problems, a lot of issues here, and how accurate he is with the commando just without scope is just ridiculous in itself here. And now Flamesword's going to be greeted by 2 players straight away. But as like I mentioned before, if your teamwork's not that good or your team's struggling just as a whole, just not pushing together, just push with each other on spawn. When you're on death screen and you're about to spawn, look for the nearest person and just run straight towards them, keep him in pairs, normally the next best thing.
Work with your teammates. If you don't have teammates, well, you can try getting new ones by playing games on Game Pass. Speaking of which, Game Pass has PC games. So get yourself some codes, go type it in, find yourself some friends to play with, get on your Halo grind. Halo Infinite is free, and the campaign comes out on the 8th. I don't know what you're doing, but go play Halo right now. Thank you for the picture-in-picture. We currently have a bit of a fight, a fire, a scuffle over on the right side of the field. And, well, we got power-ups coming quickly and, more importantly, a rotation through the back of the house. Mangler's still on hand, and we've seen that lead flip a couple of times, but it's 14-12 for the moment. And this just means we have more opportunities as OS should be up.
Yeah, shout out to the observers. There's again some great point of views for us to see how we're going to try and approach that power up. And you know what? Game Pass has had PC games. You're absolutely not wrong. But what I do know is that a double's going to be coming out for George. He's going to get the overshield as well to add insult to injury, and he's going to be pushing straight towards tower. But look at this. They all know he's got overshield. There's nothing they can do. He's going to push around the back tower. And instead, I was going to say, I'm quite surprised. Doug actually did a huge amount of work onto that overshield, more than really should have done.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you're wondering, okay, do we take individual fights so we guarantee the first couple of kills? Maybe that's a late game strat. More so, you're hoping you can work with maybe a team of 2 or 3, take a couple of team fights, and luckily that OS will help you. Here's a flyover, as we'll see a couple of nades fly out, but waiting for the noob combo to land, and yet so far nothing really has. That nade will get a check, can't repulse, almost found a bounty. That would have been fun, but unfortunately will fall quickly, and again, that lead continues. Only a 2-kill lead, but we've stayed steadily on pace. Flamesword, 5 kills, 5 deaths across the board. Doug leading the charge for the Team 2 time, but on the other side, Snakebite at 9-4, and currently the sniper in the hands of Doug.
See what Doug can do here. It does hit 1 and does get the assist for it straight away, so some cleaned up instantly. Just keeping tabs. Like I said, it's quite hard to snipe on this map, but as long as you've got back tower or garage, you're normally okay, depending on the circumstances, and of course being shot back. But these are the commandos they're using, not the BRs, and he does get 1. Looking for the second, but again, you can see Team Hitch being a bit cautious now, playing very passive, got a real defensive approach, and actually a little bit scared of what Doug can do with his snipe.
And OS will be up momentarily. About 5 seconds till that comes back. Only 3 bullets left in the snipe, so whether you want to use them all the way, great shots from Doug, finds George. Still 2 to go. You want to play around OS and Flamesword's thinking about it. To the opposite side, Snakebite finds 1. Doug's not going to peek that for long, but he's more than happy to unload the clip, and there should be only 1 bullet left.
Yeah, that overshield is huge. Doug has been doing a lot of work with that snipe, just constantly smash him into the torso or getting a few cleanups here and there. As you can see now, Snake up with a mangler once again. I talked about it in the past. He's continuing to use and abuse it as he sees fit, but it's going to be gripped by 2 players again. Both been taken down. Suddenly it's not going to be the case for them. I thought it was going to be Kernan's for him, looking for 1 more, and now it's only a 3-kill deficit in Spaceman between the 2. But as I said, though, Doug does get 1, makes it 4.
Doug's leading the charge, and with those spike grenades, you will give yourself a second chance to find an engagement, but not a lot of shields. Must be careful. 1 nade check and you're done. It's only a 4-kill game. We say that, but things can certainly swing. Great shots onto Blake, and more following up with the AR. Can you dip and dive? The strafe is good, but even better from the opposite side. That heat wave is just as good in field, and dummy control is there for Team Hitch, but how long will it last? As again, the lead continues cut down to 3.
Doug 12-7, Snakebite though 14-7, but Doug's had a lot more assists. He's put a lot more damage across the board, and this is just an absolute chaos. This has a chaos, just a complete slugfest here, Spaceman, and you know what? I'm absolutely loving it. It's only a 2-kill game, and we can see now what Flamesword can do to try go with its next power up. It's not going to be up as of yet, but looking to try and sneak around if he can up the sticky round. Does find 1, but it gets pushed back straight away, but does get cleaned up eventually. As now, that's going to be 2 down here for Team Hitch. Looking a lot better here from the 2-time.
Yeah, OS is primed, so is Snipe, but it's not up just yet, and this is going to be the winning condition for both sides. Snakebite and Hitch picking up 2, and now Snakebite has the heat wave. The vertical range is great, but if you can bunch up 2, you're going to be fine to take out and make this game a little bit closer. 41-39, they get the lead right back. Snakebite has a power weapon. He's got a commando. That's essentially the same thing at this point in his hands. The sniper's now up.
Absolutely, this sniper is going to be important, but depending in the right hands, as George pushes straight on in and looking to continue the aggression. He's actually quite weak, so I'm quite surprised he actually got away with that, but the heat wave will come into play. Snakebite looking for the second. He has been stopped finally. He's continuing with that tool of destruction, going 16-8. Hitch does get another, which means still a 2-kill game, but this is where the tempo is going to be changing. It depends on who is going to dictate the pace, but with the ARs, it's going to be a bit of a struggle.
Well, luckily for Team Hitch, they had OS locked, so you're not going to have that for the end game. It's 46-45. Sniper in the hands of Flamesword. We've seen this many, many years. Can he get one more good round in him? Heat Wave just for a backup. Close quarters engagements will be in his favor. 48 to 45, only 2 kills needed as George picks up one on the outskirts. No more pressure over towards field. Here comes the green gun if you need it. And here comes Flamesword. Potential for one. He gets spotted. It's got to back up.
No, all 3 players are ending towards the garage, and I think it could be a curtain call here. That is going to be it for them, as Team Hitch aren't going to take it, but